holiday that celebrates when the last enslaved people in the U.S. were freed. There are many celebrations happening today across our hometowns, including one at the Salvation Army. The Roanoke organization is hosting a diversity festival this afternoon for everyone to celebrate differences and come together. This year's event organizer says there will be free food, games, and health resources for the community.
Here we can provide a nice hot meal, that takes maybe a little burden off of some people, and maybe some of the resources can help them, to manage some of the difficulties that they're facing, mental health being another big one.
The event is happening this afternoon at the Salvation Army office on Dale Avenue from 3 to 5 p.m.